Mr. Dixon's Arrested Development. This is my second recording here. I did one earlier and then realized I wasn't mic'd up. So I've already drank some of my gin and tonic. I drink gin and tonics for these things, so I may be a little even more buzzed than normal. Anyway, this is Mr. Dixon's Arrested Development, in which I read about the latest arrestedness of your priest and your minister and your rabbi. Any sort of guy who's been arrested this week or within the last week or so. I read. That's it. That's the basic premise. And I drink a gin and tonic. It's delicious. Highly recommend. Anyway, it's so weird reading these things because now it's like it's in the. When I first came up with this idea, I thought, well, no one's really focusing. I think, except certain nonprofit organizations. Most people aren't focusing on the latest nonsense from the priests, your rabbis, your ministers, the holy folks, the people in search of God, and who they're banging. So I thought, well, this will be interesting. Well, not really who they're banging, but who they're arresting. If they've been arrested this week. So I thought, these stories, these aren't alleged. They've really been arrested. They haven't been convicted, true, but they've been arrested. And I thought that's Arrested Development. Ta-da! I used to do it on a podcast called Skeptiles, and now I'm doing it now because Skeptiles is going, which means maybe someday it'll come back. I don't know. But we used to do podcasts. So this is much easier. I just put up a camera and I start chatting into it. It's much easier than putting together a recording, the mics, and the sound is messed up. And we once recorded a guy and we couldn't do the interview, and he's really a big name. We couldn't do it because, we did the interview, but the sound was shit. It was a whole thing. You don't want to know about it. You don't care. Here's our latest story. All right, two of them. I got two. And, of course, they're both rape stories because it involves men. Let's face it. Dudes are fucked up. Can we all agree on this, ladies and gentlemen? That's the real problem. All this stuff about Washington and Hollywood, all this sexual abuse stuff, of course, it's just happening there. It's happening in the food industry. It's happening in obviously in the ministries. It's happening in the car dealerships. Wherever there are men and women, the guys are asking like assholes. Too many of them are just being complete pricks. Let's face it. Too much of the guys go like, ooh, I got a good fade, and I don't know how to do it. Maybe we should teach a class, guys. This is how you can meet women. This is how you can talk to women. This is how you don't talk to women. Going around going like, I got robbed by the pussy, that's not going to do it. Even if you're rich and famous, not going to work. So maybe one or two women are like, oh, yeah, I don't care, you're rich. But we're talking about half the population. 50, women are what make up for America, like 51% of the population or whatever. I think a couple of them are going to get pissed off of you going like, just get them anytime. Yes, you're rich and you're famous, so maybe one or two. I mean, maybe you'll get away for it for a while, but eventually you're going to run across a woman like, you can't talk to me like that, you can't touch me like that, and then you are fucked. So, understand that. What do you care? Nobody's listening to me. What do I know? I'm a guy on a single camera with his camera phone doing a podcast. Not even a video cast. It's not even be called a podcast. It's a video cast. It's below podcast. There's like video cast and there's podcast. I'm not even there's a podcast and there's video cast. And I'm not even like video cast. I'm below video cast. I'm like if Oscar the Grouch were a real thing and he was in a garbage can, I'd be below Oscar the Grouch. I'd be under the garbage can of Oscar the Grouch. Anyway, we were reading these. So let's begin. This is the first story here. 3 pastors, count them 3, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. 3 pastors accused of luring teen girls paying for sex. 3 pastors, three wise men walk into a bar and they go like, where are the young boys at? No, that's not in the story. I'm sorry. 3 pastors accused of luring teen girls paying for sex. This is from the Associated Press. Toledo, Ohio. 3 pastors worked together to entice teen girls to have sex, often for money, and shared photos and videos of the girls, federal prosecutors say. Because you want to share the videos of you committing sexual assault. That's brilliant. That's thinking. That's... Three pastors. One founded his own church and built a large following in Toledo. The other 2 oversaw congregations with a few dozen people that met in rented spaces. Private glances. All 3 pleaded not guilty on Tuesday to charges that include child sex trafficking and sexual exploitation of children. Each could be sentenced to life in prison if convicted. But do they really have any convictions? They will. Pretty sure. That will happen. Federal court documents describe how one of the pastors had sex with a girl in his church office and how another used his phone to record himself having sex with a teen. Very smart. And God is down there looking, oh, these are my followers. Oh, I can do nothing. Oh, it's free will. It's free will these girls to be raped. It's free will. I can do nothing. I exist, but I do nothing. But worship me. Oh. Sure, that makes sense. Federal court documents describe how one of the pastors had sex with a girl in his church office and how another used his phone. I'm sorry, just said that, right? I've been drinking. There were at least 3 victims mentioned in the indictment, the youngest being 14. So Reverend Roy Moore is like, where's my action? While the men, Cardinal Jenkins, 47, Anthony Haynes, 38, and Kenneth Butler, 37, all operated their own churches, federal prosecutors said the investigation was connected and remains ongoing. So they got 3 different dudes, 3 different churches, and they were all connected. We're all gonna get a nice little charge against all of them. And they have. Haynes and Jenkins were arrested in April, while Butler, who most recently ran a small church where his wife was co-pastor, was arrested in October. You want to run these things with your wife. I'm like, honey, I'm going to go off and molest some kids now. Excuse me. It's like, where is he going? He's going to, I don't know where he's going. I don't know. Well, I guess I'll run the church by myself. Lauren Zahner, an attorney, I bet she's not fucking kids. Like, all the young boys are very safe around the lady pastor, but the husband's like, I gotta fuck children, I gotta. Lauren Zahner, dudes are fucked up. We're just fucked up. It's just true. All races, all religions, all class bases, it doesn't matter. Dudes, we're the problem. Men are the problem. Let's face it. Don't do that not all men bullshit. Men are the problem. Just accept it, admit it, and then let's move on, all right? Lauren Zahner, an attorney for Jenkins, said he was not seeing all the evidence prosecutors have gathered, so it was too early to say what will happen next. Butler's attorney declined to comment, and a message seeking comment was left with an attorney for Haynes. It's not surprising that the 3 men were acting together, said Celia Williamson, director of the University of Toledo's Human Trafficking and Social Justice Institute. That's a title. This is my card. I'm Celia Williamson of the University of Toledo's Human Trafficking and Social Justice Institute. That's a lot to put on a card. All right. It says to me that we already knew that sex trafficking is a business. Okay? She said, of course, they work together. That's how it thrives. Okay? Prosecutors say Haynes first began pursuing and grooming a 14-year-old girl in 2014 and that he gave her money for sex. Always cool. He also warned her not to say anything because it would ruin his family and his church, according to court. Please don't. I'm going to rape you. Please don't tell my family. You ruin me, and I run a church. I'm pleading with you. I'm about to commit sexual abuse, but please don't blow up my shit. Is that okay? Could you not do that? What? I love it. I just unbelievable. That takes balls. You see, again, comes back to guys. We're fucked up. Haynes later introduced the girl to Jenkins and shared photographic photos and videos that he had recorded, prosecutors said. And there's more to it, like, yeah, that's quite enough for these gentlemen. And goodbye. Next story. Last one here. This is from the Miami New Times. As New Times revealed in an investigation published Tuesday, former Calvary Chapel Fort Lauderdale pastor Bob Coy, who once led the largest megachurch in Florida, was accused in 2015 of molesting a girl for more than a decade, beginning when she was 4 years old, because that's when they're the hottest. Why would anybody, I know, I understand molestation, people are attracted to what they're attracted to, and some it's okay, it's legal, and in some cases it's not legal, in which case you got to do something about it, go to a doctor or something to fix yourself, but it's still, how are you attracted to a 4-year-old girl or a even a 14-year-old girl? These are not hot. I realize we're talking about people who have a serious psychological problem, but still, it's like just weird. Like, why would you really? This is attracted to you? Anybody who's still watching Scooby Doo is not a turn on to me. Anyway, Coy was never charged in the case. I'm very daring, yes, but this is my way. Yeah, I'm not a pedophile, just so you know. Very daring of me to say this. I don't, who would be attracted to 4-year-olds, man? I would never do that. Very brave man. Coy was never charged in the case and had already resigned from Calvary over an admitted string of sexual extramarital affairs. Hopefully those were all of age. After his preaching career ended, he landed work managing the Funky Biscuit, a nightclub in Bisner Park in Boca Raton. The club now says it has terminated any relationship with Coy and that the owners had no inkling they had been accused of child abuse. The fact that he worked for a church didn't clue them in. He's a pastor. He ran the longest mega church. Check. You'll find. Yesterday, through an article published by Miami New Times, we were made aware of certain allegations involving one of our associates, Mr. Bob Coy. The club says in a statement, neither the Funky Biscuit nor any of its employees were aware of these allegations prior to yesterday. Because of the nature of these allegations, the Funky Biscuit has decided to terminate our consulting arrangement with Mr. Coy effective immediately. Get him out of here. He ain't funky with the biscuit around here. The club says Coy was never a full-time employee, but rather worked as a contractor for certain management duties. Managing not fucking kids. They didn't have him manage that. Confronted at the Funky Biscuit last month by a New Times report about the sexual abuse claims, Coy denied the allegations and said he had passed a polygraph test about them. He was very coy about that, no, I'm saying. He declined to provide the result of the test, which he said was not performed for the police, or talk about the case for the record. Polygraph tests are bullshit, so even if he did pass one, it doesn't mean anything. Or even if he failed one, it doesn't mean anything because polygraph tests are bullshit, but that's something else altogether. But never submit yourself to a polygraph test so you can avoid it because they're nonsense. They're as much nonsense as the idea that there's a God. Okay, that is Mr. Dixon's Arrested Developments for this time, and I will see you next time. For the next, probably, almost certainly going to be another pedo story because that's all the. Although we did have previous video, we did have the guy who got arrested for robbing the Vegas place, and he was a pastor. So some guys manage to keep it in their pants. They take the guns out instead, but still, at least it's not the pedoing, which just seems to be a really big thing. All right, I'm Mr. Dixon. Thank you very much. See you next time.